So really excited to have you here to the new Oze, which has the hashtag and our focus to help businesses in doing business better, right? So we want to make sure that every business that is in the Oze app improves their business operation, improves the way they manage customers and they manage their transactions, and also improve in terms of their downtime. So basically, the new Oze app is designed with growth, digitization, and revenue in mind, right? So with the new Oze, you could see that we have a whole lot of features that has been added to it. And the whole idea is to empower African businesses to do business better. Our North Star is to help businesses to grow by using the Oze app. And the app is designed in such a way that it makes recording transaction easier, building your business online or setting up your business shop also seamless, and then assist you to be able to track your inventory conveniently as well. So today we're going to spend a few moments to talk about inventory on the Oze app. On my screen, there are two windows that I'm showing. One is a slide and the other is my phone to the far right. So from time to time, I will be working on my phone to show you how the inventory feature looks like and can be useful to your business. So you can't be looking at the right on my phone when that also starts. So basically, let's talk about inventory, right? Inventory is basically the assets to your business. It's the lifeblood to your business. What you have spent your money investing into your business. That's your inventory, right? And so Oze offers you the option to digitize this inventory asset so that you can be able to track it, whether it is production or for selling purposes. Anything that is inventory is also connected to your transaction data. Okay, so whatever transactions you enter, whether sales or expenses, it has a direct correlation or impact on your inventory. It either goes to increase your inventory or goes to reduce your inventory if you're entering the transactions in the Oze app, right? So in the previous app, you could see that there was no linkage or there was nothing like inventory feature at all. So for this particular version of the app, we have set up an inventory feature to help businesses like you to be able to track how much product you have in stock, how much cupcakes you have, how much cakes you have, how much chocolates you have, how much even dough you have available, and so on and so forth, right? So for this particular presentation, we are going to look at 4 ways in which you can interact with your inventory feature in the Oze app. There are 4 things that you can do if you are in your inventory screen, where you can add a sale that is related to your inventory, or you can add an expense item that is related to your inventory. So the first 2 are activities that you get to do relating to inventory, right? Now, we do have certain businesses that are not inventory related. They do not keep track of their stock. They do not hold goods, right? But those are businesses that also operate. And so we call these people service-oriented businesses. And so the inventory feature has made room for these kinds of businesses too, where you can add a sales item related to service, right? And an expense item related to service. So we're going to basically focus on these 4 items here and then break them down by doing a demo to see how these things can be used in the Oze app, okay? So first off, let's kickstart with adding a sale item related to inventory, right? Now, when you are on your Oze app, you will see that on your home screen, there is a menu button to the far left, right? So you can see that on my phone to the right, on the home screen. So let's click on the menu, and then quickly this pops up where we get to see series of screens that we can go to: transactions, inventory, Oze shop, analytics, coach, settings. But for today, we are focusing on inventory. So we click on inventory, and then it brings us to this particular screen. Now, on At the top, we have stock summary, and then we have all time, we have total stock, we have stock in and stock out, right? If you're starting fresh, you would see that your total stock is 0, your stock in is 0, your stock out is 0. But this is a demo account that I'm using, and you can see my stock in is 277 and my stock out is 277. I currently do not have any stock available because stock in, stock out, and everything is out, right? Whatever was in is equal to whatever is out. And so my total stock is 0. My total available stock is 0. And I do not have any items added. So your screen is supposed to have 0, 0 and no items added. Now, to start adding any inventory related item to your account, we click on the stock in or stock out button that is below. When we click on this, a new screen pops up, which gives us a series of options, right? So at the first two rows, we have increase an item stock and then reduce an item stock under stock in and stock out. I would like us not to focus on this particular screen for now. Let's just focus on the more actions area where we have add a new sale item or service, and then add a new expense item or service. Today, for right now, we are going to add a sales item related to inventory. So we will choose the first button under more action, which is add a new sale item or service. Okay, we're going to add a new sale item or service. So we quickly click on that. So when we quickly click on that, it brings us to what type of items are you creating? Mind you, we are entering or we are creating a sales item related to inventory. And inventory we know is a physical item. So we'll choose a physical item here. When we click on that, it brings us to this particular screen where we provide some few information. Now, mind you, we are also creating an inventory list. And so there will be some little bit of activity that you need to do to feed this new app with information concerning the inventory that you have in your business. I would encourage you that this is going to be like the only time that you get to do this, and you get to do this once. Afterwards, that information is programmed in your account, and entering transactions going forward becomes just a few taps and then you're done. It becomes child's play. So here, assuming I run, like, let's say, an electronic shop, right? And then I also have let's say earpiece, remote controls on the side, right? So here, let's say for instance, I sell air conditioned products, and I want to create an inventory for a remote control for some of the AC products I have. So let's just say that I type in my item name. I type in as Hisense remote control, right? Okay, so Hisense remote AC, right? And I come here to sales category. Now, category is a way of grouping similar items together or putting them in one box, so that if you click on, let's say, remote, right? So I can choose remote here as a category, right? So I get a blue text, series of blue text that pops up. I choose the one that is similar to what I want to choose as a category. So in this case, I'll click on remote because that is very closely associated to the category I want to use. So I click on the blue text. Now, as I mentioned, categories are ways of boxing your items in groups, right? So Hisense remote or Samsung remote or TCL remote, all of that can be in one category called remote. So I go ahead and then I provide more information concerning how do you get this item. So I can say I buy this item, right? I select I buy this item, and then I come to items cost. So let's say it cost me 120 cedis to buy 1 unit of the remote. And I would like to sell this at 150 cedis. My business is a very interesting business. And so I just want to make maybe 30 Ghana cedi difference in profit. So with this, I can just continue from there. Now you can see that at the top, there is a square with a plus button where I click to add image of my product. We are adding an inventory. And so any valuable information concerning the product that I want to add is needful. So I click on take a new photo to take a picture of my remote. There we go. So I click on the check mark at the top right. And here we go. I have my Hisense remote image also uploaded. I can therefore go ahead and click on add items location. Now, supposing I have about 10 items in stock, I just edit the stock level at location to 10. And then I can say the inventory feature should remind me, and quickly review your items and services, right? For this particular screen here, what you get to do is that there are a series of questions that are asked. Now, this will need your keen attention. Here, we get to see a button asking us, should we subtract the cost of these items from your cash balance? And then we have options, no or yes. See? Now, what this means is that for the item, the Hisense remote that has been bought, which is 10 samples of it, which amount to 1,200, should this be added as an expense item or an expense transaction? If you say no, you can create this inventory item and it won't affect your transaction. But if you say yes, then the minute you add this item that you have, it will automatically create an expense transaction also. So for business owners like you, sometimes you forget to enter expenses that you make in your business in buying items, right? So whenever you are adding an inventory, there is a reminder in case you have not entered that particular expense transaction, you can quickly choose yes. And immediately, the minute you click on create items and services, you would also end up creating an expense transaction for this particular inventory at the same time. So I'll choose to say yes and create items and services. Now, the minute this happens, on my inventory, I have added Hisense remote AC, and total is 10 units, right? Now you get to see that my total stock summary has increased to 10, right? It has increased to 10. Now, let's go to your transaction screen. You would see that the new stock that we entered, which cost us 1,200, has also been entered here as an expense of 1,200, right? So basically, that's how it is. Now, let's go back to the inventory screen. Let's go ahead and try another option where we get to enter an expense item related to inventory, which is the next step. So the same process, we click on the stock in and stock out, and then we focus our attention on the more actions buttons. Here we have to enter an expense item. And so we click on add a new expense item. So I click on add a new expense item. I am choosing to enter an expense item that is related to inventory. And so it should be a physical item. So I choose physical item. And let's say, for instance, I want to enter this logo. And under this, I can say marketing materials. right? So I choose add as a new category for marketing materials. So anything that is marketing materials will be under the expense category called marketing materials, right? So with this, I'll say that I sell these items and I can say spend CDs. I'm choosing that. Say it's 20. Then I choose a picture. Go ahead and I do this. Now I quickly add this item and I would say that, okay, I have about 5 of this item. Then I create a new item and I create items and services, right? So depending on your business, you can choose whatever category suits your inventory on your business. So quickly, I have added 2 items, one a sales item related to inventory, one an expense item related to inventory. Now, assuming I want to enter a sale item that is related to services. With that, I still come back to the blue button. And now I still go ahead and choose add a new sale item or services. But this time around, I choose a service. This time around, I choose a service, right? So I click on a service rather than a physical item. So with this in mind, I go ahead and say, I offer delivery service. And then I create a category and say delivery, right? So I choose delivery and it costs maybe, let's say 30 cedis. Now, under normal circumstance, a service has no image, right? This, however, on the Oze app at the moment, you will have to add an image. We are working on decoupling the parts where you adding an image is mandatory. So in the future, you won't need to add an image. But right now, let's just go ahead and add an image, right? So let's take a picture. Go ahead like this, and then we create an item. So quickly, you can see that we have added delivery service to our inventory that we provide these services, right? Good. Now, let's try and also add an expense item that is related to service. So here, we still go ahead and choose a service. And for that service, we can say that we bought power, electricity, right? Then we choose a category and say electricity. How much did this cost? We can say 100 cedis. Now, you can always change a service cost every time. It is not fixed. So for this particular purposes, we are just taking 100 cedis. And I can say that I'm taking my light picture, play, as my electricity, and I create an item. So now we have been able to enter 4 items, which is a sales item and an expense item related to inventory, and a sales item and an expense item related to a service. Okay, any questions so far?
No, not yet.
Thank you. So let's move on to the next steps, right? The next steps are basically simple. Now, we come back again to the stock in and the stock out pattern. And here we can increase or decrease item stock depending on what we have in our physical warehouse, right? So let's click on increase an item stock. The minute you click on an item, increase an item stock, you see that here we have only 2 items that are physical items that are showing here, right? And it doesn't include the service items that we entered because you can't increase service items. A service is a service. It has no contraction, it has no expansion. But when it comes to something that is a physical item, it has those properties. So here, to increase, let's say, the number of Hisense remote AC that we have, we can just say increase quantity by, let's say, 5, right? And maybe we can go ahead and put a discount, right? Or we can also put the restock cost. So in this case, it costs me, let's say, another 120 cedis, 1,200 cedis to, sorry, let's say 600 cedis to buy the 5 new remotes. And I fully paid for them to the supplier. And then I can go ahead and save, or I can go ahead and add a note. So here, 5 units added. So you can see that now my Hisense remote AC has increased from 10 to 15, 15. I can do the same also for my logo, right? So here I can say that I want to reduce an item stock, right? I can reduce the item stock for the logo, let's say by 1, right? Can reduce it by 1. Here, I just go ahead and click on save. So quickly, my logo unit changes from 5 to 4. So these are the simple ways of managing your inventory. The interesting bit is that for any transaction that you are about to create, because you have already created an inventory, those items and categories will pop up the minute you want to enter a sales item. So let's try that here. So let's say we are typing Hisense. So you see, we have Hisense remote AC and the number of units showing 15 units. So I can choose that. And quickly, my selling price pops up and the quantity also pops up. Since I have 15 units, I can say I'm selling 3 of it quickly. I can either save this transaction or I can go ahead and click on receive payment and provide more information, right? And then I can add customer information. So in this case, let's say this particular customer called Aaron, it's my customer. And then I can save this. And quickly, here we have it, right? If I want to enter an expense as well, same scenario. The minute I click on expense and I click on add manually, I can say logo. And you can see instantly, logo appears here for me, 4 units. I can go ahead and save. So we have that created. So the minute you are able to create your inventory, entering transactions in the Oze app becomes easy peasy. It becomes easy and you can just do it on the fly. Any questions so far?
So the inventory is working mainly for persons who sell products or like who have products on hand to sell, not necessarily persons who create products like say on order or something of the sort.
So no, you can add. So as I was showing here, on this particular screen, let me just go back to the inventory screen. You will be able to add a sale item related to service, and you can be able to add an expense item related to service. And the way to do that is by clicking on the stock in, stock out button and choosing the more actions area, the bottom here. So you click on add a new sale item, and then you choose a service. So when you choose a service, you are adding service items that is relating to your service business, so that whenever you provide a service, those categories will pop up in your transaction screen. You just select them and you can generate a transaction and send a receipt to your customer for that. So it is not related to inventory. The interesting thing is that when you are entering a service inventory, it doesn't ask you for number of units. It doesn't. But when you're entering a sales item related to inventory, it asks you number of units. Okay, so I employ you to try that. All right, thank you so much and do have a fantastic day.